Okay, good morning, sweet peas. Today's date is September 30th, 2017, and my name is Leslie Williams. Now, I apologize if I look a little rough. Okay, check it out. This is just going to be a very fast prediction video, and today I'm going to the North University San Diego Public Library, and then I'll be going to CVS and Best Buy. Now, I am being subject to what is known as a host, many different organized stalking, gang stalking techniques along my routes. Now, before I segue into that, and I'm going to have to talk fast in this video because I'm already running behind schedule. Before I segue into the statements pertaining to me being gang stalked, I'm going to introduce to you what is in the title of this Periscope video. What is incorporated in the title is a tweet link, and that tweet link has already been pasted once, okay, in a previous Periscope video that I have made in the past week. But the reason why I'm reintroducing it is because it is an 8-part tweet chain. It is the tweet URL link of the first tweet, and the remaining 7 that are attached to it are right below it, connected to it. Now, slowly dissect everything that is in each tweet in the order that they're presented, meaning that research what's in the first tweet, research what's in the second, and so on and so on and so on. And you will see a very small glimpse, which is in your face, literally, of me being subject to what is known as interstate stalking directly connected to gang stalking crimes, and which is a federal offense. Now, you can research gang stalking at Google and YouTube. It's all over the internet, being exposed by tens of thousands of victims all over America. This crime's been covered on national radio shows, including ones I've been on. It's been covered on local news broadcasts, marginally. And it's also been covered on alternative media on the internet. Okay, you can also go to YouTube and type in George Noory, Coast to Coast AM, electronic harassment. Gang stalking's covered within those interviews as well. Now, my fellow American citizens, as a result of being a gang stalking victim, like when you look at the YouTube video "Gang Stalking Bullying on Steroids," which is a news broadcast, you'll clearly hear that individual clearly state that he's harassed everywhere he goes, that he can never have any peace of mind because of it, and that he's even being gang stalked to his own home. Now, when you research this criminal reality on Google and YouTube, you will come to understand that gang stalking victims are describing being harassed through community-based harassment, meaning that I'd say about 85 to 92% of all of the gang stalking harassment a target of this crime endures is through duped community members. Okay? And this is an extremely interesting crime. There's a lot involved in it in reference to not only how it operates, but also how it's managed and who's managing it and how it's protected. So it's an extremely interesting crime. It's very hard to prove. Now, I'm also going to make another statement here just real fast, and then I'll segue back into my initial statements and then segue into the subject matter. I'm right now preparing to send a bunch of things again to the Department of Education pertaining to a bunch of federal student loans, school loans that were coerced for me to take out through the organized stalking, gang stalking, criminal expedition of me in Michigan. And I have no doubt in my mind at all that my life was physically infiltrated by these little demented animals in Michigan, going all the way back to at least 1988. Okay, in fact, I can even trace back an apartment, a little studio basement apartment I was running in 1986, where I ended up experiencing some things that were identical to gang stalking criminalities. Now, when you research gang stalking online, okay, extensively, you will come to understand through the educated knowledge you take from it that there are thousands of victims, of the tens of thousands of victims, stating that they've been gang stalked for decades. This is a government-run program. And I'm going to tell you something right now about filthy, psycho, demented, criminally insane animals that are perpetrating this criminal reality. Every single last one of them belong in prison for the rest of their lives. Absolutely. Make no mistake about it. This is literally the most heinous crime that any human being can endure. Literally. And that is no joke. That's not just trust me. You'll figure it out once you start researching this criminal reality. Now, let me see what else. So, the 8-part tweet chain. The first tweet of that 8-part tweet chain is incorporated within the title of this Periscope video. Indisputably proves interstate stalking from Michigan to California, San Diego again. Okay, because I was gang stalked from Michigan to San Diego in 2006 as well. Back then, I did not know what I was enduring was gang stalking, but I did make a bunch of emails here in San Diego in 2006 describing specific things that had occurred to me in Michigan, including in several apartments in Michigan, and pertaining to some techniques that I was enduring in San Diego physically. Now, my fellow American citizens, when you also go to my blog, which is attached to my profile of my Twitter account, you will clearly be able to do some being gang stalked. And I want you to also understand this. I got probably at least 40 blogs online, thousands of YouTube videos online. I think I've already passed 250 Periscope videos, petitions, and so on online pertaining to me being a victim of this crime. And everything online is not even 0.001% of the evidence I'm carrying on my person. And you better believe the police know I got it. Oh my God, SDPD is so corrupt, it's pathetic. Hold on. Now, SDPD is not the only law enforcement agency that is involved in this crime in San Diego. I've seen information online pertaining to the San Diego Sheriff's Department, UCSD Police, SDSU Police. This is a federally run program, and it's an unfortunate fact that so many of our state and county and city and local governments, municipalities, are receiving so much federal dollars because of the fact that our economic situation, at least in the past 12 years, has been catastrophic. So a lot of state, county, and city and local municipalities are dependent on federal dollars. This leaves them wide open to influence, manipulation, intimidation, and so on. But make no mistake about it, the organized crime in the system at the state, county, and city level is deeply entrenched in this crime. So don't even begin to think that they're only doing this because of the federal influence behind it. They are entrenched in it and always have been. Okay, so have no sympathy whatsoever for the state and county and city municipalities because they're nothing but criminal animals. All right, so flat out hood. Absolutely. All right, so 2 days ago, I made a video after I left the Northern University San Diego Public Library. Once I left and got to the bus stop, I made a very short video. I was even acting a little comical about. I made a prediction video pertaining to what might happen to me as a result of me going to Vons grocery store off of Regents Road and Arabia Street. I'll repeat that. I made some prediction statements pertaining to what might and or will happen towards me or my property once I get to Vons grocery store off of Arabia Street and Regents Road in La Jolla, California. Now, as soon as I got to Vons and walked into the door, I was approached by a manager, and he told me that I had to give him my backpack and duffel bag for security purposes. And when I said no, I got legal papers in them. I go, you're welcome to search the bags when I leave. And he said, okay. Now, I'm going to tell you something right now, my fellow American citizens. One of the main reasons why I am one of many, and all my reasons pertaining to UCSD are equally important. But one of the main reasons why I will never let UCSD go, even if I win in court against them, I still will never let them go. Okay, is because I was criminally banned from UCSD as a result of me exposing the gang stalking of me on UCSD campus. As a result of not being able to go back to UCSD campus until I sued them in court, okay, I have not been able to go to the libraries to upload any of my evidence videos. And then the law library downtown San Diego, where I was going to look up certain penal codes, government codes, and civil codes, and do other things on the internet, they started enforcing in a very strict policy pertaining to the only reasons why their computers could be used. So right now, I'm extremely limited to being able to upload any evidence. Okay, fine. Now, that is like taking the cell phone out of a woman's hand, okay, who's being physically abused by their significant other. When you take the communications out of the hands of a crime victim, you are isolating that crime victim more in the crime, because then no one is able to witness the criminalities being perpetrated against the organized stalking, gang stalking target. Now, let me just backtrack for a second. See, these grocery stores and libraries and restaurants and movie theaters that gang stalking victims are subject to gang stalking techniques in, you can go to Google and type in the name of any 10, 15 well-known businesses in the United States, and then cross-reference the name of those businesses to gang stalking and look at what comes up. Then type in each name to gang stalking to 5 different states and look at what comes up. And the reason why I'm introducing that to you is because if you can bring the amount of responses that you're going to be able to bring up from doing this, you're going to obviously be able to see that this is an organized crime, nationwide organized crime syndicate that is using their influences within the communities and in the system to perpetrate these criminal realities, working in and colluding with a covert partnering relationship. And the reason why I introduced this to you as well is because that way you can automatically see, in case you're wondering, well, how can a person be gang stalked at a grocery store or a library or a restaurant or a movie theater? You can also Google the Chamber of Commerce and gang stalking and all their business networking partnerships. Hold on. Okay, so in other words, they more than likely have organized crime syndicate members in them that are directly connected to gang stalking. And they're using their employment descriptions to privately collude with these businesses. But make no mistake about it, corporations and businesses can also initiate gang stalking against you. Now, when a target of gang stalking goes into a business or a library, any business of any kind, and even a library or a university campus, they're looking to gang stalk the victim and then to ban them. That way they feel that once they ban the target, they can wash their hands, okay, of the whole situation pertaining to that specific target. Now, the only way that they can ban the target or make the target extremely uncomfortable pertaining to coming back is to get up into the thinking of the target, because that's what gang stalking expeditions are a huge aspect of it is all about. And what I mean by that is that in order to ban somebody who's not doing nothing wrong at all, who minds their own business, who creates no problems whatsoever, the only way that they can ban the target is by staging an accusation or a complaint or a staged event. And when they stage events, they do staged witnesses. Staged events in gang stalking crimes are called street theaters. Google that term. Okay. Or they'll start making the target extremely uncomfortable. Let me give you an example. One of the main goals of gang stalking is to intentionally put the target in a survival situation. Okay. Like making a woman homeless. That's all over the internet to be one of the main methodologies of this criminal reality. As a result, the victim is made homeless, and so therefore they are put in a survival situation. Then the gang stalking expedition will threaten the survivor in order to keep the target constantly hyper-vigilant, constantly hyper-alert, constantly living in fear about being assaulted, robbed, arrested, ticketed, forced to move, and so on. Now, they know the people who are managing this, which I believe is a group, okay, that are managing this, they know all the particulars pertaining to the thinking processes of the target, pertaining to how they're responding to the gang stalking. They know the circumstance the target is in because they literally put the target in it. Okay, and when a target moves from one state to another, the syndicate that's in the state the target's moving into will take over the campaign for the syndicate in the state the target's coming from. And all the information is transferred from, like, say when the target was living in Michigan. Everything that was done to that target in Michigan, okay, was cataloged. All that information is then transferred to the syndicate that is in the state the target's moving into. So they already know the psychological profile of the target. They already know all the past abuses and traumas and everything that they've done to the target. And so they just sit back and they say, okay, well, we got a woman who's homeless, therefore she's probably carrying a tent with her. They also know this woman has got multiple tape recorders as a result of being, just trust me, they know it. I've even made videos showing it. So they know I got a bunch of evidence in my backpack and duffel bag. They also know that I got survival gear in my duffel bag, tent and tent poles and shit like that. So let me ask you a question. Would you trust your legal papers, your evidence, your tent, and your tent poles to a business you know you're being gang stalked in? And not only that, since they're involved in gang stalking, they're involved in massive felonies. They can put anything in your backpack without you even knowing it. okay, as a result of them saying they got to have it while you're in their store. And then when you go back to get it from them, anything can be taken and anything can be put in. Absolutely. These filthy maggots are involved in human trafficking. Every single crime that you can think of, they are involved in. Literally. This is no joke. Literally. Okay. So what they do is they say, well, we know that this victim will not want to hand over her property, and since it's the type of business where it seems normal for a manager to ask a person for their property because of theft, what they do is build what they do about up and around the psychological profiles and the mechanics of the gang stalking and the target's responses to the gang stalking, meaning that they know they're dealing with the target who's carrying evidence. They know they're dealing with the target who's carrying private papers like bank account statements and student loan stuff and survival gear. So they know that they're not going to want that. They know they're dealing with the victim who's not going to want to hand over their property. So they think, well, we're a store. We got a legal right to ask people not to bring bags in, even though this whole entire La Jolla community is full of students from UCSD and other schools that are in the neighborhood. Every time I go into Vons or when I went at Ralph's, nonstop I'd see people come in with duffel bags and backpacks. Okay. But as soon as I walk in the door in Vons, he starts telling me I got to give him my backpack and duffel bag. So is this, because even exposing this, the perpetrators in the system can say, well, we believe this victim has persecutory delusional disorders. He or she believes that they're being persecuted because they suffer from delusional behaviors or delusional symptomologies. That's literally gang stalking. Literally, it's literally a method of it. Okay, so is that the reason why my backpack and duffel bag were asked for? See, one of the main goals in gang stalking is to camouflage their behavior by doing things that appear normal for that environment. Like if I go into the library and I'm typing, they'll bring somebody up and say, you're typing too loud. Or if I cough, somebody will get up and say, well, she's coughing really loud, she's making noise, because those types of complaints blend in with the normal type of complaints that somebody would state in a library. Do you understand? And so what they do is they dress up their behaviors to fit in and blend in and be appropriate to the environment the target's going in. Now, libraries are being used by me to update my blog and to do my research and look up lawyers. Okay, now, so what we got to understand here in gang stalking criminal expeditions is that these psycho maggots that are in the system know I'm wearing a tape recorder. The ones who are perpetrating this, they know I'm wearing a tape recorder, and Bonds now knows it because I pulled it out on August 31st, 2017, when an incident occurred in there. So what they got to do, okay, is make it appear that anything they're doing to any victim of gang stalking in any business, they got to make it appear that what they're doing is this normal request, okay, and that it's a request they know the target's not comfortable with. Therefore, they believe that the target will say, well, if I got to do this when I come in here, I'm putting my stuff in jeopardy. Therefore, I got to now find another place. You understand? Welcome to gang stalking. Because there's only a few grocery stores here in La Jolla pertaining to along my regular routes and routines. Okay, so keep that in mind. And let me give you another tidbit of information. I was in Vons 2 days ago. Did I catch anybody, including a worker, repeating gang stalk while I was standing 10 feet away? Did I get out my video camera and catch it on video? And then did I let the video camera rest on my lap? And then when I went to go turn it off, it was already off in reference to the recording mode. So when I pressed on the button that you press on, okay, to look at the video, it was gone. It was saying this file type not supported. So anybody at any time can extensively research. I'm going to introduce to you some information that I've seen online right now. There's a technology called remote neural monitoring. Google that extensively and research how it is being described that this technology has the ability to be able to hack into electronics and control the functions of it, edit or delete any material in it. Now, if this was going on around me in Vons, I'm the type of person when I hear somebody saying these types of things around me in any business, I'll make discreet statements in my tape recorder. Here's the microphone to it. Okay? So let's just say if I get out a video camera and I'm making a video of open gang stalking harassment, trying to catch it on video, I might make a statement in my tape recorder that, okay, I just caught him on video saying gang stalk. So if that did occur, okay, is that because I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. There's a blue video file right now on my camera that the video file itself is nothing but the color blue. There's no video at all. Now, why would my video camera do that when every single other video that I ever make anywhere videotapes fine? But that video, wide openly catching individuals in Vaughn saying it 10 feet away from me, okay, why would all of a sudden that video disappear off my camera? So, my fellow American citizens, you would not believe the amount of evidence I got. The evidence I got is completely and 100% completely in your face and totally indisputable. So, let's see if anything happens at CVS today, off of La Jolla Village Square Drive. Let's see if anything happens at the North University San Diego Public Library. Let's see if anything happens at Best Buy. And when I say CVS and Best Buy, I mean the entire plaza. The parking lot, where I lock up my bike at, anywhere I'm at on the business, walking with my bike, in Best Buy, anywhere in Best Buy, bike rack, anywhere. This is the little shit I gotta live through every day because of these psycho, criminally insane, demented animals. Okay, the only thing the system cares about is committing the crime and protecting it. They don't give two shits about anything they're doing to any aspect of what they're doing to gang stalking victims at all. Period. And the cops are 100% completely involved in it. I know it for a fact. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, my fellow American citizens, oh, sorry, it was a bird. If I'm banned, okay, from any business or any library, anywhere I go in the next 30 days, I'm predicting it right now because I'm sick of making these predictions every day. Also, if anybody tries to harass me or create any problems for me or take anything from me, okay, along all walking routes, bus stops, and bus routes, it will be gang stalking. If any event happens concerning any MTS bus driver or passenger, whether it's on the bus or while I'm waiting at the bus stop, it will be gang stalking. You would not believe the evidence I got concerning MTS. It's astronomical. So you can Google public transportation gang stalking at any time and extensively research what comes up. Now, my fellow American citizens, one of the main reasons why gang stalking victims are being criminally isolated and entrapped in the continued expedition of this crime is because of this absolute organized crime in the system that is hosting it and managing it and making sure that it remains protected at all costs. Okay, they don't care about, look, they're even targeting kids at school. So do you honestly think they care about any human life? Of course not. So the reason why I incorporated the tweet link in the title of this Periscope video is to give you a very small introduction. The evidence I got concerning how Michigan, the techniques that were perpetrated against me in Michigan are almost identical to a literal T. Okay, pertaining to what I'm enduring in San Diego. It's mind-blowing. Okay, so also pay attention to the radio show links that are incorporated within my blogs that I've been on. When you go into my blog, which is attached to my Twitter account, what you want to do is the first thing when you want to do when you go into it is research those. I think there's 6 Twitter links that I incorporated at the very top as of today's date. Okay. Actually, they were incorporated at the top of it 2 days ago. Okay. And then you want to immediately go to within the blog and look at all the national radio show links I'm on. And then go into the blog and slowly dissect all of the areas within the blog that are dedicated to Stockton, San Antonio, and how it pertains to me. That's a news broadcast. Just do it. Okay? And then go back and start dissecting all the evidence. Oh, and by the way, as far as me being banned at UCSD, I literally caught a library security of the pertaining to UCSD libraries. I literally caught a UCSD library security guard openly admit that a staged complaint can cause me to be banned. So you can go to YouTube and you can type in learning disabled woman catches UCSD library security admitting staged complaint can cause her to be banned. Absolutely. So I'm never going to let UCSD go, and they're always going to make sure they keep me entangled within the techniques of this crimes and the effects and circumstances that are created from the staged events, because that's one of the main avenues that they use to control the target. If they can tie the target up in a constant busyness of moving, if they can tie the target up in a constant busyness of court proceedings that stem from staged events and falsified arrests from them, then the target is never mentally free and physically free from being attentive to, preparing to, and going to lawyers and law firms. Okay? One of the main goals of gang stalking is to not only steal your evidence, like if you get arrested, oh, make no mistake about it, and then they'll claim it never existed, and then even call you crazy for claiming you had it. Absolutely. I mean, the system ain't nothing but a bunch of criminal maggots. Absolutely. Period. End of story. Okay? I know it for a fact. So, that's I had to move over 13 separate times in 1 year. And if you had any idea what's involved in moving when you're homeless, I mean, it just, in 1 year, it literally took up the whole entire year. From November of 2015, from November 30th, 2015 up and through February, March 2017, I had to move over 14 separate times. On top of trying to keep up with current events and keep my blog updated and taking care of daily errands and needs. Okay, that's not to mention all the times I had to move from November 10th, 2014 up and through August 9th, 2015. I've had to move almost, I'd say, 28 times since November 13th, 2014. All because of this criminal reality. The SDPD honestly believes, I hate their fucking guts. I can't stand them. Man. I think every single SDPD officer that is involved in this crime belongs in prison for the rest of their lives. I can't stand them. They're nothing but criminal animals to me. And UCSD equally same, because my life is just as important as anybody else's life. And so I'm not going to pay taxes to a bunch of criminal whores and then have them use their employment description against me because they're involved in organized crime. I've lost thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in property and having to go through money because of just because of what I went through since November 13th, 2014. So if SDPD honestly thinks that one day I won't turn around and bite them in the ass, they're sorely mistaken. All right, I got to go. San Diego, California. This video applies for the next 30 days. My fellow American citizens, I strongly suggest you research my blog and what I incorporated within the title of this Periscope video. I literally got to go. Thank you for listening, and please say a prayer for my safety. Thank you.